did you actually learn making the first season that you wanted to take with you to the second season?
You know, that Harry, the character of Harry as the alien, he has a wild range in emotion. You know, he's somewhat stoic as a character. His emotions, especially in the beginning, he didn't have them, and then he starts to develop them as he stays on Earth longer, and that becomes a problem in the second season. He's getting too many emotions, and he can't deal with them all. I learned in season 1 during the human sex scene, where I have sex with a human person, Harry's wife, that the humor of it can be somewhat broad. When Harry is involved in this, I make a crazy sound in the conclusion of that act, and I think one of my eyes crosses in, and I almost slobber on myself, and yet the world of Resident Alien can contain it. It was very big, but the world of Resident Alien could contain it. It didn't cross a line into, oh, I went too far. So I learned in the first season, possibly unfortunately, that I could go really big, and it could be contained. So there are moments within, I guess, the season where the comedy, if it allows for something that can be filled, a moment that can be filled to the top, I'll possibly go the distance there.
What was listen, I think you're great on the show. This series only works because of your ability to play this character. It's really everything. What was your reaction though when you found out that the first season's 10 episodes and Chris told me the second season is 16? So were you sort of like, wait, what? Or were you like, oh, let's do it?
I was let's do it. I love the idea of a 10 episode season. I just like those to watch them. You know, I love little small storylines, and you get those pieces. And then as actors, it's a new thing to have these types of series where you can just have a smaller, even 16 is a small order from what it used to be when I first started out. They were 23, 20, 22, 23. Yeah. And that just seems seems like madness now. So 16 is bigger. I was excited about getting to do more with everybody and do more story-wise. I like how we're splitting it up. We're going to have the first 10, and then the last 6, we're going to have a little break. So we won't be off the air for so long, and I'm excited about that. I like that idea because there's just such a long period of break that becomes, that happens.
For fans of the series, what are you allowed to tease about season 2?
I'm an alien. I want to just get that out there right off the bat. I am playing an alien. I want that Harry is dealing with emotions this season, and it's something that he dealt with right at the end of last season, but it's a bigger problem this season. He has an identity crisis. He's becoming more and more human, and that's offensive to him. That's not who he is. He came here to kill all the humans, and now he's caught up in this whole humanity, and it's not okay. So he's doing his best to hold on to who he is, and asking all those questions that we ask ourselves about, who am I? But part of that, of getting human emotions, because he is like a child, he gets them a lot like children get them or feel them. He feels them very intensely. He feels them all of a sudden. He needs to figure out how to suppress them and control them. And so for comedy's sake, there's a lot of fun to be had with someone who's out of control in that way this season, as well as still not being the most physically deft individual on the planet.
You've done so many things in your career already, but does it get any easier when you're on set talking to a fish tank where there's an octopus that's supposed to be in the tank, but in the tank there's nothing? So I'm just curious, as an actor, does it ever get like, is it still weird to talk to a fish tank when no one is there? Or have you sort of just gotten used to it now?
I have gotten used to it. Yeah, you just get used to it. Sometimes you're talking to a tennis ball. Sometimes you are the tennis ball. That's that's been my experience. Although this season with the octopus specifically, in the first episodes, I don't think we had the actual octopus, but now we have one made of silicone that looks very much like the octopus. So it's a combination of CGI and practical. And when I am talking to Nathan Fillion's octopus, we have Nathan's voice being piped in, and there's puppeteering. So it's a puppet Nathan Fillion on set, and he's an octopus. So that's just beautiful. That's beautiful. That's what I signed up for when I was a kid and wanted to do theater and make believe. That's the kind of thing I wanted to do, was have conversations with pretend octopus people. Puppets. Like have a conversation with your friend who's also a puppet and an octopus at the same time. And that's what we get to do.
This my last question for you. I am a huge fan of David Lowery, and I know you worked with him. I'm just curious if you could talk about getting to work with him on that project. Something I'm so looking forward to.
I enjoyed that so much. I have so much respect for David. When you get into a world, where there is so much CGI, or you get into these worlds where there's fantasy and make believe, and there is so much CGI that you're acting with tennis balls, like we were talking about, and you're doing a lot of the pretending in your brain. He created a world where they built a ship. They built the entire ship, and it was on this thing that rocked it. There was a Skull Island and it looked like we were at an amusement park. It was such an exciting set to be on. There were kids everywhere, and they all had ideas, and there was moments of mayhem. And they would just be like, okay, here we got it. He's just the most chill leader in the middle of all of this. And I just had such respect for him. I had a blast. I had a small part to play. I play Mr. Dowling. I'm the guy at the beginning who says, Wendy, you've got to grow up. And then at the end, I'm like, oh, you've grown up. And so it's kind of my gig, is I just sort of bookend the thing. But I so enjoyed the time I was there. I wish I could have had more time on that set. And I don't say that a lot. You're like, God, I wish I could go to work more. I wish I could have gone to work more. I really enjoyed it. The kids were amazing. The young people were mind-boggling how intelligent and thoughtful they were. And he was a perfect leader. It's great.
I honestly can't wait. But listen, man, I really enjoy your work in this. And I just want to say thank you so much for giving me your time today.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Cool. Have a great day.
Cheers. You too.